Welcome to the Panel Show TV's Down the Track. My name is Jared McLean and I'm here with Rob Oberg at the Alpha Hotel within sight of Sydney Dragway. We've seen 2 days of incredible action at the AC Delco East Coast Thunder event. Joining us today to talk all things Top Fuel, Darren Morgan, 4 times national Top Fuel champion from the AEG Power Tools team. Alongside him, Kelly Betts, fresh from her first competition with the Lamatina Top Fuel race team. It was a tough weekend. The environment, the weather, it wasn't necessarily 100% in our favour, but give me your thoughts on the quality of the field overall for fuel.
We were interviewed after, I think, the pass that we did with Cal, and I was looking at the cars coming back, and it is amazing what it stepped up to. Like every car's running a sub 4 second pass or around that sort of times. No oil on the track, no problem starting the cars, just going from A to B and putting on a show for the crowd. It's really, really good and exciting to be around.
Kelly, I mean, this was your first full competition event. You ran Nitro up north, which was an exhibition bracket, but you're jumping into Top Fuel at a time where the field's probably the strongest it's ever been. There were 9 cars out there trying to get into the field. There's only 8 get to run eliminations. How much pressure were you feeling in that first pass?
Yeah, the first passing rounds, you're talking? Yeah, everybody has their first round nerves, but I knew we had a job to do and I just wanted to get out there and do the best I could, really. The team, like everybody was kind of favouring the right-hand lane, where we would have liked to have been in the right-hand lane, but obviously the qualifying order gave us the left-hand lane. And being like the weather and the rain that was around earlier and the track conditions, we weren't sure if it was going to be a pedal fest, so we were sort of all geared up to just go hard at it and do what we needed to do. So yeah, look, I had naturally some first round nerves, but no, it wasn't too bad.
Jared alluded to the weather. There was rain interruptions, etc. It never really rained, it kind of misted.
Yeah.
But despite that, the fans were everywhere.
I was very surprised.
The fact that this event had 3 female drivers for the first time ever, with yourself, Rochelle Splatt, and from America, Ashley Sanford. Did that make it special? Because the fans just seemed to concentrate on that. I know at the autograph session, there weren't as many at your end of the table, Darren, as there were at Kelly's. But that really did add to things, didn't it?
Oh, definitely. And look, the public, and they like to see the females in there. For me, I'm so used to being around the sport. I'm just like another competitor out there. So the female thing it's a popular thing when it comes to the general public. To me, I'm just another one of the guys out there trying to win. But having the other 2 females come along, it was a great thing. First time we've seen it, 3 girls in the category. So it was exciting in that sense. But from my perspective, I was there to, we're all there just to win. But yeah, it was good.
Well, Jared, everyone came there to win, of course, but individual performances varied.
Absolutely. I mean, we look back to qualifying and Peter Zibris, top qualified, an amazing pass. Even though the car looked like it might have been hurting itself each run, they had no problems coming back out for each round. Someone who was at each round, ready to fire, ready to go, but denied the opportunity. You only got 1 qualifying run in, Darren. You made the mention that you've run in worse conditions in the past.
Oh yeah, we shut off on the start line with a couple of spits on the windscreen. We would have liked to have done that pass, but they made the judgment call and shut us off. We went to the start line twice and didn't get to run, and we didn't do any testing coming into the meeting. So it was a struggle for poor old Benny to get it all right. So we took a stab at the first one, and he got that right. And our crew, they done a magnificent job. But the whole field, every team out there struggled with the weather. So, and they come up with the goods as far as I could see. I think the performances are awesome.
The AEG Ramset Dragster really did acquit itself well, and the whole crew around it.
Yep.
We saw some amazing stuff come eliminations time, Rob.
Oh, I mean, qualifying was tough. Somebody had to miss out. Unfortunately, it was Terry Sainty in the Gulf Western Oil Sainty Speedworks car that didn't get into the field. Then we went into eliminations. It was scheduled far earlier in the day. We were supposed to start with a sportsman racing at sort of 8:45 in the morning. I don't think we got on track with anything until nearly 3 o'clock in the afternoon because of the rain. Then there was a real push on. First round, Kelly, first round didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, did it?
Not really. we saw all the cars in front of us and do similar things. So I guess in my mind, I was just, saying to myself, all right, moment I feel something with that car, just quick pedal and try and get it back down there because, I was pretty confident Darren would be getting down the track. They did some really great, good pass and stuff like that. And I thought, I'm pretty sure they're going to go down. So whatever I'm going to do, it's got to be quick and I've just got to try and get it motoring back down there just in case for any reason he was going to, have a problem and need to get off it. So, try my best.
Going into that round of racing, Darren, I mean, the fact that you had only got one qualifying pass, you didn't have much data, that was going around in our minds when we were calling the race. Was it also going around in your mind?
Not really. Benny's a good boy. He knows what he's doing, and we were pretty conservative. That the pass we ran, was a sub-4, but it was a pretty conservative pass. We were pretty excited about the next one, so we could start standing on it a bit because we didn't have any testing or data or whatever. So that one was make sure it gets from A to B at a pretty reasonable time. That's all we could do with the data we had, and we're pretty confident it was going to go down there. It was the next one that would have been a bit more exciting.
One of the fortunate byproducts of the rain that did hit the track is that it was an incredibly clean racing surface, and the Sydney Dragway track staff put in a monumental effort to get it turned around.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 times they brought that track literally back from the dead. After racing had been called off, and it really showed when we got into those eliminations. And we break down the figures with Peter Zibris recording the quickest speed at 313 mile an hour, or for those using the metric system, just a shade under 505 kilometres an hour. Top Fuel is in an incredible place. We've changed to the 1,000-foot format, but it has not hurt the spectacle. And when you look at these figures, the quickest ET belonging to Wayne Newby with a 391, Rob.
Actually, he did better than that. He's got into the 389 and set the new 1,000-foot record at that 389 with the 391 back up. So the Rapasadas, of course, they had 3 cars in the field. Ashley Sanford from the US, unfortunately, she went out in the first round with you.
Just before me, doing similar things.
So there fell 2 of the ladies, and Rochelle Splatt, well, she didn't make it out for round 1. They had a problem with the car, it had fire up, and it just never happened for us. So our 3 ladies were gone. Darren went into the semi-final. Man, I've never seen so much fuel coming out of a Top Fuel car than as you on the line.
I don't think we've ever had a car with that much fuel coming out on the line. But anyway.
I don't think I've ever had that many tears on the line watching it.
So, some sort of problem with the fuel system?
Yeah, just a glitch in the fuel system, but easily fixed, but not at the time. So we missed out on that one. It doesn't happen very often to us, and we'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
So, Joe, that left us with those 2 Rapisada cars in the final.
And what a final it was. One of the interesting things to note in that final, all of the titanium sparks that were being spewed off, I think it was the newbie car.
It was the Harris car, because both of the Rapisada cars, we were looking forward, this is going to be the quick side-by-side final. Some finals are spectacular for other reasons. The ETs aren't even worth talking about. I mean, the times weren't flash. But Wayne Newby, he had a massive engine explosion not far off the start line and put 6 conrods out the side. I mean, that engine block is history. It's toast. So there was a lot of flame there. And then Damien Harris had that spark coming out and everything else. He still did manage to go just sub 4-second pass. He gets the win. He takes the lead in the championship. But already those 2 Rapisada cars are looking pretty stout this year, aren't they, Darren?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And those guys are heading off to the US this morning for some more data, so they will be tough. But Peter Zib got the mile an hour record. And that's right, isn't it?
Yep.
For the weekend. So it's another team that's running real fast, so they've just got to get a bit more ET in it, and they'll take that back. So that's really exciting. Timmy's a smart guy, and they've got some really good equipment, and they'll go faster and faster. So I don't think Sano's got it all on his own out there. And these guys will step it up too. They're not going to take this line down. They'll make sure that car's more consistent and faster by the next time they go to a race meeting.
Now, Darren, you were saying earlier it was fortunate, it was good that the points for high mile an hour and low ET weren't just being gobbled up by the one car. You were also touching earlier before we started recording that the spectacle of fuel is still there.
Absolutely.
Those sorts of comments still ring true?
Yeah, absolutely. Side-by-side passes, and even even in the finals, you said it wasn't the quickest thing, but where can you go and have a rooster tail of titanium space?
It was quite interesting to watch.
Darren, you've now been racing top fuel for a number of years, and when you first came into the category, you'd have to say that the quality, quite often we had big fields, but the quality of equipment, the quality of performance wasn't there right across the board. This event, we had 9 cars trying to qualify in. Out of the 8 that went into round 1, you know, to turn around and say, oh, look, they can't win. It was pretty hard to do that. Any one of those cars could win. Do you think we've ever had stronger fields and a better show? Because we're not seeing oil downs. We're not seeing, even when we see a big engine explosion, the oil seems to be contained. There's not much going on the racetrack.
It's awesome to watch that whole field go down there, put no oil on the track, run fast. Everybody starts on the start line, everybody's ready to leave, not holding the other competitor up. It's very, very professional and awesome to be a part of. And the equipment's, the things are making 10,000 horsepower. Nobody said they liked it, but they're doing it. So the equipment has to be strong, it has to be really good. It's running over 300 mile an hour or 400 to 500 k's an hour. You don't want to be driving over oil. She doesn't want to be driving over oil because it's all going to turn to negative real quick. So there's all these elements, and as Cal said, you let your guard down, you lose. So you can't be an also-ran because you're not going to bum your way through for a win. So you have to have everything perfect every time, and all these elements put together is put on a real good show for the crowd.
Now, it's long been acknowledged that a driver is their worst own critic. Kelly, you've got your first competition down with the Lamartina Top Fuel Racing team.
Yep.
We noted very early in even qualifying, but also in eliminations, your reactions on the tree are next level, superhuman almost. How do you rate your performance personally over the last 2 days?
I'd have to say I was very happy with that side of things myself. I put a bit of time into doing the practice tree and stuff like that, and I do work on that a lot because, yeah, I think it's a very crucial part of it. Obviously, we all do. But yeah, look, I'm very happy with how it all went on the weekend. The team is as well. They're sitting pretty confident. We're all very confident as a team, but we've just got a few things to get worked out with this car, and we're looking at doing some more testing in between now and January as well. So. But look, we're all gelling. They're like, the team has built the confidence with me. Obviously, everybody had to get their heads around me being the driver, but they're starting to see that I'm 100% there, committed, and I'm going to put in the hard yards to be there every time.
Now, we were talking on the weekend about the relationship between the team owner, the crew chief, and of course the driver. What's been the most difficult thing that you personally have had to adjust to when it comes to putting this Top Fuel dragster down the track, working with this huge crew? Yeah,
to be honest, they're all great people. Like, they're very welcoming to start with. Probably the most difficult side of it is the initial introduction and how are these guys going to accept me. Like, it's a group of guys who put in some serious hard work on this car, and in comes this girl who they don't really know at all, and she's just going to get in the seat and drive it, and I've got to then start to build the relationship with these guys. So probably for me, and I wouldn't say that was a difficult thing for any of us, but for me personally, in my mind, that was the most difficult side of it, because from then on, it's been a really great, it's been a smooth process for us all. So yeah, it's good. We're gelling well as a team.
Well, one thing we've got to address, of course, it was the first 1,000-foot race. 300 metres of racetrack instead of 400. I know, Darren, you were critical of the decision to go that way. I sat back and wanted to see the show. In the commentary box, calling the race, seeing the fan reaction, I have to say, it was as good a show as I've ever seen. So I think from the spectacle, it's going to be fine. From a driver's point of view, in the seat, how much difference did you find?
None. To me, it doesn't make a lot of difference. You hold your foot flat for a bit longer and try and keep it up the stride, and that's pretty simple stuff. As long as we concentrate on this is all about our spectators and our people, because without the people through the gate, they're not going to go to Bunnings and buy some ram set. So that's what we need to do. So if we can keep an eye on what the crowd wants and give them what they're asking for, it's all good with me.
Well, Kelly, the thing is, you're used to racing over a quarter mile. You know where the finish line is. You've gone across it and backed off the throttle in it thousands of times now at different racetracks. Now you've got a 1,000-foot deal. They put some carrot-coloured orange markers up on the guardrails.
Look for the carrots.
Yeah, look for the carrots, the Carrot Kings car, the Lamartines, of course. But did you find it easy to pick up where that was, or what were you using as a sight marker?
For me, obviously you're not just directly looking at them, but for me, I'm finding the cones on the track. That's what I'm looking at for the finish line, and it's been the way, I guess, with bracket racing background, we're looking to the cones to do our womping and stuff at the finish line. But yeah, for me, it's just a natural thing to look at the cones. I honestly, like when you're at the start line, you know, before you go in, you can see the orange markers were there on the track and all that sort of thing. But on the actual pass, no, I'm sort of looking to the cones, to where the finish line is.
So would you think that, you know, the foam blocks, these cones in the middle of the timing blocks at the 1,000-foot, they're all grey at the moment. Would it be a good idea to paint those bright orange or something? Yeah,
look, it wouldn't be a bad thing to make them a bright colour, that's for sure. I mean, obviously at that point of the track in the fuel cars, everything's a little bit, it's a little bit blurry. So yeah, it's anything that can be done like that, just to make that a little bit more obvious. Like obviously NHRA in America, they actually don't keep the quarter mile finish line blocks on the track, they get rid of them. So as far as they're concerned, they're looking for the final 2 blocks on the track, whereas us, they stayed. So, you know, it could be a thing of making those blocks a little bit brighter.
I don't think it'd be hard to slip down to Bunnings and get some orange safety paint and get that done for you, Jared. Well, Jared, I think what we've really got to do also is look ahead. The next round of the Top Fuel Series, Willowbank Raceway for the New Year Thunder, January 6th. Man, we're going to be back there. These guys are going to be back there. There's plenty still to come.
Absolutely. That's all we've got time for in this segment of the Panel Show TV's Down the Track. From Rob Oberg and myself, with Kelly Betts and Darren Morgan, thank you for watching.